most southern wine region in the world, you'd expect Central Otago to have an extreme environment, but nothing prepares you for how unforgiving the landscape actually is, particularly here in the Cromwell Basin, with these rocky, schisty outcrops, this dry, sandy soil, and these rugged hillsides just carpeted with wild thyme. It's home to some of the star sub-regions in the world, places like Bannockburn, Bendigo and Alexandra, all pockets of Pinot Noir perfection, connected by the slow-moving, cloudy blue Clutha and Kawerau rivers. And far from being grim, I actually think Cromwell is one of the most hauntingly beautiful parts of the world. Bendigo Station in Central Otago was named by the Chinese gold miners who came here from Australia back in the 1860s. It's 11,000 hectares of this extraordinary landscape and produces some of New Zealand's finest merino wool. So it's hardly surprising when Miesha and Andy Wilkinson were hunting for the perfect location to plant grapes, they fell in love with this land. And they've created the beautiful Miesha's Vineyard, perched high on the hills overlooking Lake Dunstan. How on earth do you go from being two MBAs, being in Singapore for 17 years, with these high-flying corporate careers, to growing grapes in one of the harshest parts of New Zealand?
Yeah, we decided we wanted to work together and to go and do something we were really passionate about, and so it ended up being wine. You do find out that the corporate world has not a lot of return in terms of long-term satisfaction.
Yeah.
And you've got to get something more out of life. And so we just really needed to get something more out of life. Yeah. I can't say that it was an easy task to find what we wanted to be the world's best vineyard site. So it took us something like 2 years to find this site, didn't it?
And what is it about this site, Andy, that you just love so much?
It's, you know, it's a combination of things. It's the land, obviously, that can produce the best quality fruit, because that's really what we had to do. But it's also a site that's really special from the fact that it's spectacularly beautiful. As we were developing this vineyard, we would come up and sit down with a beer, and we'd actually look across and we'd say, I can't believe we've actually bought this.
Surely some people must have said, you guys are nuts.
Most of them.
Yeah. But I don't think there's anywhere on the planet that's more spectacular than Central Otago. And being here through the change of seasons, which we haven't seen for such a long time, has been absolutely wonderful.
So looking after the vines here really isn't a job for the faint-hearted. And that's why Miesha's have got Rich on board. What is it like working on the edge, basically?
It's challenging at times. There's not a lot of fertility to the soil.
It's more rocks.
It's great. The schist rock absorbs the heat all day and releases it again at night, so that also helps with the frost drainage. I'm very lucky as a vineyard manager to not have to wake up in the middle of the night and have to run out and turn on a wind machine or hover a helicopter over the vineyard to warm it up a bit. The top of the vineyard, 350 metres above sea level, and it goes down to just over 200 metres above sea level at the bottom of the lakefront block. And that slope enables the cold air of the frost to drain off the hill.
So the hottest slope, is that the one just behind us?
It is.
And you call that the ski jump, is that right?
The ski slope.
Ski slope, oh.
Yeah.
Close.
When we pick the block behind us, we have to pick downhill. We actually have a bus running from the bottom coming up to the top of the hill sort of every half hour, so they catch that.
The pickers work down the hill, and there's a little bus waiting for them at the bottom to bring them all the way back up to the top to start again.
Yeah.
You're serious?
We look after our workers around here.
I love it. Having natural frost drainage is not the only piece of luck with this vineyard. After years of being in Singapore, Miesha and Andy were very attuned to lucky number 8. They're 8 kilometres from town on State Highway 8 and on what was Sheep Run 238. So, at the groundbreaking ceremony, a gold Chinese coin was placed beneath the first 8 vines to return the old gold to the ground and bring luck to the new gold produced from the land, meaning their Pinot Noir, of course.
The Chinese actually came over for the New Zealand gold rush in the late 1860s.
Right.
And they came over from Australia.
Okay.
So there's quite a lot of Chinese history on this land.
I guess it would be right here where we are, isn't it?
Right here where we are. So it's been quite significant for us, having spent that time in Asia, that we're able to capture some of that history. I guess the remnants that were left behind, they don't look like much in some places, just piles of rocks, but it's where they did the actual gold mining and the sluicing
There's definitely a really nice energy here.
There is, and a lot of people that visit here from Asia say it's a site that has fantastic feng shui. So if you look up in the hills, you've got, you know, this beautiful hill in the background, which is sort of the protection from the enemies in the Chinese mythology. And we've got hills on the sides, which are protection from the wind, and water in front, which is, you know, the life source for the vines. So it does have this amazing sense of energy and calm.
Hi, it looks very pleasant.
Come and join us.
Well, it's been a long walk for a glass of wine.
I would like to introduce you to Ollie Masters.
Hello, Ollie Masters. I know you, Ollie, from Martinborough. You know, we've judged together, but I haven't seen you in Central Otago much.
It's a fantastic learning curve, I guess. You know, and it's a pleasure being here, obviously, and being involved in these wines.
Gosh, I love the smell of this Riesling. Like, it's gorgeous limey notes, and there's some mandarin in there.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites, I guess, off the vineyard. I mean, Central Otago is obviously making a reputation for Pinot Noir, but I think Riesling is also one of the great things that we're finding out about down here.
At the last London Wine Fair, this was named one of the top 100 wines at the fair. So, and it was the only Riesling or the only wine from Central Otago. So she really is in the limelight.
It's so lovely. I just want to do a big cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, you deserve it.
Because this glass is not going to last long.
I'd like you to try the Pinot Noir because we're in Central Otago and it's all about Pinot Noir in Central Otago.
So what is it about Central Otago Pinot, in particular Miesha's Vineyard Pinot, that's so different to what people further north are producing?
It's the continental climate, you know, it's that huge temperature shift from suddenly being cold in winter through to that heat you get in the middle of summer, and then that tends to keep the vibrant acid level, and particularly as the wine ages, you know, that'll keep it alive and fresh.
It is so fresh. I mean, this is a 2008 Pinot Noir, but it tastes so vibrant and so fresh and so zesty.
Yeah,
and it's
I mean,
just packed full of spices too.
Red fruit, cherry, plum stone, and the sort of spice character I think we're also getting from particularly this site and as part of the Bendigo area. We often see that almost a dark licorice spice aniseed character.
Yeah, the anise, definitely. Cheers to that. Fantastic. Let's get going.
Yes.
All this fresh air has made us hungry, so we're heading home with everyone for a special dinner. Even Miesha's dog Bogart's excited about what we're cooking.
He's had you a dinner, Bogart.
What are you doing over there? Those parcels look fantastic.
We've done hare Wellington, so loins of hare and covered with a little bit of pate, rolled up in a bit of pastry, and we'll fire them into a nice hot oven.
Now, surprisingly, the wine we're having with the hare Wellington is Miesha's Dress Circle Pinot Gris, with rich flavours of nashi pear and manuka honey and delicious citrus.
Feed us.
There we go.
Cheers, everybody, to our hare Wellington. All right, we taste of the wine. So juicy and succulent. There'll be those of you that are probably looking at the fact that we're having a white wine, an aromatic white wine with a gamey dish like hare, and you're thinking, my gosh, this is madness. What are you doing, people? But this works so incredibly well. I know we've been going on and on and on about Pinot Noir with game. Got to try Pinot Gris with game. Chicken liver pate, lovely spices, and beautiful crisp pastry. That crab apple's sensational with it. Good work, very good work. Yes. Nice one, Andy. Well done.
Sandy.
Yep.
Praise the winemaker.
Yes.
Good one, Ollie.
Great grower.
Cheers.
Praise the joker. Excellent, Miesha. Well done. Cheers, everyone.